Namaste, everyone, and welcome to this explainer, brought to you by the professionals at Onjob Training Academy. I am absolutely thrilled to be your guide today because we're talking about something really special. You know, when a daughter learns, she doesn't just rise up alone. She lifts literally everyone around her. So today, we're going to explore exactly how her education acts like a light, first illuminating her own home, then her village, and eventually the entire nation. Everything we're diving into today is drawn directly from a fantastic, comprehensive ebook called Why and How Education is One of the Best Gifts to Daughters, a complete guide to parents and daughters. Through the insights in this guide, we're going to unpack why empowering a daughter is, without a doubt, the most transformative investment a family and a society could possibly make. I want to kick things off with a thought that really stuck with me. If you educate a boy, you educate an individual. But if you educate a girl, you educate a family and a generation. That beautifully captures what we call the ripple effect. A girl's education doesn't just stop with her. It creates these massive waves of positive change that echo outward, touching everything she comes into contact with. Okay, so let's dive right in. When we give a girl access to education, we're doing so much more than just putting a student in a classroom. An educated daughter becomes a lifelong learner, a true leader, a teacher, a wise decision maker, and an actual creator of change. And these aren't just fancy titles, right? These are the exact traits that actively break those harsh cycles of poverty and help us build a society rooted in real equality.
Section 1. The First Ripple. Impact on Family and Economy.
So when an educated daughter learns, she brings this incredible newfound confidence and emotional maturity straight back home. I mean, think about this statement. An educated daughter becomes the family's most silent teacher. It's so true. She becomes the backbone of stability and the absolute center of wisdom in her house. She passes on what she learns to her siblings, and she helps her parents make really informed, crucial decisions about their health, their finances, and their future. To really put this into perspective, let's look at Neha. She is a young teacher from Bihar, and she actually uses her salary to make sure her brother can keep studying while also financially supporting her parents' medical needs. But the most touching part of the whole story is her father's reaction. He proudly, openly admits, I wanted a son to take care of us, but my daughter became all that and more. Her education gave her the power to give back in a massive way. Then there's Jyoti from Odisha. Her parents were daily wage laborers, but through sheer hard work and scholarships, she became a nurse in a city hospital. Fast forward to today, and she's bought a small house for her parents and is completely funding her sister's college education. It just goes to show that education is the best dowry a girl can bring, mostly because it never, ever loses its value. Jyoti didn't just change her own life, she reversed generations of poverty for her entire family.
Section 2. The second ripple. Healing communities and fighting injustice.
As that first ripple naturally expands outward, we start seeing how educated daughters literally heal their communities. Because when one girl gets educated, especially in a rural or low-income area, she steps right up as the community's voice of reason. She understands critical things like sanitation, human rights, nutrition. And she doesn't keep it to herself. She shares it. There's this saying, educated daughters are the doctors of social illness. They aren't just treating physical sickness, they are curing the deep-rooted societal illnesses of ignorance and inequality. Now, what's really interesting here is the data. Look at this massive jump, 55% to 92%. In one village in Rajasthan, a group of educated women got together and formed an awareness team. They started putting on street plays about cleanliness and the importance of vaccinating young girls. Within just 2 years, only 2 years, they drove the vaccination rate in their village from 55% all the way up to 92%. It's incredible. Education turned them into grassroots leaders. And education is also an incredibly powerful shield. Take Rukmini from Uttar Pradesh. After sitting in on a school awareness session, she actually used a district helpline to stop her own child marriage. Today, she is in college and actively volunteers to make sure other girls don't face that same fate. Knowledge really is the most peaceful weapon against oppression. It gave Rukmini the voice to say no to injustice using actionable awareness rather than just anger. Section 3. The third ripple. Empowering society and building a nation. Zooming out to the broader societal level, we have to recognize that true equality begins in classrooms. A perfect example is Sakshi Malik, India's Olympic medalist in wrestling. She grew up in a village where, honestly, girls just were not encouraged to play sports. But her education and her training completely shifted her village's mindset. Because of her, dozens of young girls are now joining schools and sports clubs. She proved to everyone that leadership and innovation are human qualities, not gendered ones. When girls learn, democracy itself gets stronger. Across several panchayats in Madhya Pradesh, first-time educated female representatives stepped into power. And they didn't just fill a seat, they brought real progress. Because they vote wisely and respect the rule of law, they successfully improved local roads, fixed water systems, and boosted school attendance. They proved that when educated women are involved, governance actually works for the people. So, what does this all mean on a macro scale? Well, a UNICEF report hits the nail on the head. It shows that educated women in rural India tend to have fewer children and a higher family income compared to those without access to schooling. Why is that? Because they're able to focus on the quality of life over the quantity of lives. Actually, it's absolutely crucial to understand that educating daughters isn't about population control. It's about giving them the tools for essential, empowering life planning.
Plus, the influence of an educated mother, it's lifelong. Just look at Kalpana. She's an IT professional who makes it a point to read science bedtime stories to her 8-year-old son. And guess what? Now he wants to grow up to be an inventor just like his mom. A girl who gets an education today becomes the mother of tomorrow's high achievers. She's planting the seeds for big dreams incredibly early on.
And here is a really vital point. Educating your daughters simultaneously shapes the minds of your sons. In Haryana, the Beti Bachao Beti Padhao initiative led to a surge of girls enrolling in schools, and the direct result of that? A noticeably heightened respect for women among the boys. The education of those girls literally seeded lasting social harmony for the whole community. On the absolute grandest scale, a daughter's education is a direct investment in a nation's strength. Just think about India's brilliant women scientists who played such vital roles in ISRO's Mars mission and the Chandrayaan projects. Not too long ago, they were just little girls sitting in ordinary classrooms. Today, they are representing their country on the global stage, proving for sure that when daughters learn, they make the entire nation proud.
Section 4. The Legacy. A message to parents and daughters.
As we wrap up today's explainer, I want to take a moment to speak directly to the parents watching. Listen, when you educate your daughter, please let no one tell you that your investment is anything less than monumental. Every single school fee you pay, every book you buy, every dream you support, it secures her future and it strengthens your family's name. Remember, you might not build a physical monument in your lifetime, but by educating your daughter, you are building a legacy. And to the daughters tuning in, I want you to remember that your education is literally your superpower. You carry the hope of every girl who didn't get the chance to go to school. You are the light of your generation, so learn not just to earn a living, but to enlighten the world around you. Keep this quote close to your heart. Your degree is not just a piece of paper. It's a promise to make the world a better place. Because at the end of the day, educated daughters don't just participate in progress. They are the progress. Their voices turn into policies, and their confidence becomes the courage of a nation. I want to leave you with one final provocative thought to chew on today. The most powerful revolution begins not with armies or money, but with a girl holding a book. So how will you support this revolution today? If you're feeling as fired up and inspired as I am right now, it is time to take action. You can empower her future today. Just scan the QR code you see on the screen or check out the explainer description below to get your hands on the ebook, Why and How Education is One of the Best Gifts to Daughters. With just a one-time payment, you get lifetime access to this amazing guide from the Onjob Training Academy. So don't wait around. Scan it, buy the ebook, and dive right in. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I'll catch you in the next one.